Imagine a team that defied all odds. A group of underdogs who not only made history but shattered barriers along the way. The 1949-50 City College of New York basketball team was a force like no other, capturing the hearts of a nation. But just a year later, their legacy was tainted by a scandal so dark, it changed the face of college basketball forever. This is the story of how triumph turned to betrayal and how greatness gave way to ruin. The 1949-50 season was nothing short of miraculous for the City College of New York. Under the guidance of their legendary coach, Nat Holman, known as Mr. Basketball, Holman was more than just a coach. He was a visionary. His emphasis on teamwork, passing, and defense created a squad that played with unmatched precision. Every game was a masterclass in strategy, a chess match where Holman always seemed to be 2 moves ahead. But Holman's team was more than just well-coached. They were groundbreaking. In an era when segregation was still a grim reality in college sports, CCNY's roster stood as a beacon of progress. Jewish, African American, and Puerto Rican players shared the court, proving that diversity wasn't just symbolic, it was their strength. They weren't just a basketball team, they were a symbol of New York City's melting pot, and a reflection of the grit and resilience of their community. And at the heart of CCNY's dominance were their star players. Ed Warner, the team's leading scorer, was a powerhouse on the court. Averaging 15 to 18 points per game, Warner thrived under pressure and was the heart and soul of the Beavers. Ed Roman, the team's towering center, controlled the paint with his rebounding and defensive skills, averaging 10 to 12 points per game. His presence made CCNY a force to reckon with inside the key. Then there was Al "Fats" Roth, the brains of the operation. As a guard, Roth orchestrated plays and added 8 to 10 points per game, ensuring the team's offense flowed seamlessly. Norm Mager and Floyd Lane rounded out the roster. Mager, the scrappy forward, had a knack for scoring in critical moments, while Lane, a defensive stalwart, was the team's go-to playmaker, always ready to lock down the opposition's best player. Together, these men weren't just players, they were legends in the making. CCNY's journey to glory was unforgettable. In the NIT, they bulldozed their way to the finals, where they defeated Bradley University 69-61. Warner was unstoppable, leading the team in both scoring and defense. Just weeks later, the NCAA tournament offered a chance to cement their legacy. In a dramatic rematch against Bradley in the finals, CCNY edged out a nail-biting 71-68 victory. Warner's 23-point performance was a masterpiece, securing their place in the annals of sports history. Unfortunately, the euphoria of CCNY's victory was soon to be short-lived. Behind the smiles, a sinister undercurrent began to stir. Rumors of point shaving and manipulation circulated, and although they were initially dismissed, the whispers grew louder. At the heart of the scandal was point shaving, a scheme where gamblers paid players to subtly manipulate the game. The players didn't have to lose. They just had to ensure their team won by fewer points than the spread set by bookmakers. By missing easy shots, slowing the pace, or making small mistakes, they rigged the system while keeping fans and officials none the wiser. Ed Warner, the team's brightest star, was one of the first approached. Promised quick cash, Warner couldn't resist and soon introduced gamblers to his teammates. Ed Roman and Al Roth were next, their pivotal roles on the court, making them valuable to the scheme. Roman's dominance in the paint and Roth's control of the game's tempo gave the gamblers exactly what they needed to manipulate the outcomes. In 1951, at Manhattan College, Junius Kellogg, a standout player, was offered $1,000 to shave points in a game. Instead of accepting, Kellogg went to his coach, Ken Norton, and revealed the bribe. This single act of integrity set off an investigation that would unravel the largest point-shaving scandal in college basketball history. Kellogg's report gave authorities the breakthrough they needed to investigate further. Soon, several CCNY players were implicated, accused of conspiring with gamblers to fix games. The scandal tarnished the team's legacy and led to severe consequences for the players involved. The once celebrated team was left in ruins, their achievements overshadowed by betrayal and corruption. The scandal didn't stop at CCNY. Over 30 players from 7 schools were implicated, revealing just how deep the corruption ran. Sherman White, a star at Long Island University and a top NBA prospect, saw his career crumble. Averaging an incredible 27 points per game, White's fall was a shock to fans and a tragedy for the sport. Gene Melchiori of Bradley University was another casualty. A gifted guard, his dreams of professional basketball ended before they began. The ripple effects of the scandal left careers in ruins and fans heartbroken. Behind the scenes were the gamblers pulling the strings. Eddie Gard, Jack Rubin, and Henry Rosen targeted players from modest backgrounds, exploiting their financial struggles. With promises of quick money and no apparent consequences, the gamblers ensnared these young athletes in their web of deceit. The fallout from the point-shaving scandal was swift and unforgiving. The repercussions rippled through every corner of college basketball, leaving behind a sport forever changed. For the City College of New York, the damage was irreparable. What was once a powerhouse program, a symbol of grit, determination, and progress, was reduced to ashes. CCNY's basketball program was effectively dismantled. The school's administration, eager to distance itself from the scandal, de-emphasized athletics. Scholarships for basketball players dried up, and the team that had once stood atop the college basketball world was relegated to obscurity. What could have been a dynasty ended in disgrace, and the Beavers were never the same. The scandal not only tarnished the reputation of the players involved, but also cast a long shadow over the entire institution. Students and faculty alike felt the weight of the scandal as the once proud school struggled to regain its footing. Rival schools capitalized on CCNY's downfall, recruiting top talent and rising to prominence in the basketball world. The legacy of CCNY's basketball program, once a beacon of hope and excellence, was now a cautionary tale of ambition gone awry. The empty stands and silent courts served as a stark reminder of what was lost, a dynasty shattered by scandal. The scandal also marked the decline of New York City as the epicenter of college basketball during this time. Once a bustling hub of the sport, with Madison Square Garden at its heart, the city's reputation was tarnished. College basketball in New York, which had once drawn sellout crowds, struggled to regain its former glory. Madison Square Garden, once the grand stage for the game's brightest stars, now carried the weight of association with one of the darkest moments in sports history. And for the players involved, the consequences were devastating. Many of them were young men from modest backgrounds, drawn into the scheme by the allure of quick money. But when the scandal broke, they found themselves vilified by the press and abandoned by the institutions that had once celebrated them. Ed Warner struggled to rebuild his life. After serving time for an unrelated crime years later, Warner's dreams of professional basketball were left in ruins. Ed Roman and Al Roth faced public shame and lifelong regret for their roles in the scandal. Their once promising futures were replaced with infamy. The scandal left a scar on college basketball that has never fully healed. It shattered the innocence of a sport that had captured the nation's imagination and revealed the vulnerability of young athletes to exploitation. While the NCAA's reforms aimed to restore integrity, the shadow of the CCNY scandal served as a grim reminder of how easily greatness can be corrupted. The CCNY point-shaving scandal is remembered as both a tragedy and a turning point. It destroyed dreams, toppled a basketball dynasty, and changed the sport forever. But it also exposed critical flaws in the system, paving the way for reforms that continue to protect college athletics today. It reminds us of the vulnerabilities of young athletes and the corrupting power of greed. But it also forces us to reflect on the legacy of a team that, despite its fall, achieved something truly remarkable. Today, the City College of New York now competes as a Division III school. After the scandal, CCNY was banned from Division I basketball and also banned from playing at Madison Square Garden. Their titles were removed and the school has never again appeared in the NCAA or NIT tournaments. It's a stark reminder of how far they've fallen since the scandal. What do you think? Should the players' historic accomplishments still be celebrated, or does the scandal overshadow their legacy? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into sports history. Thanks for watching.